It is time for our conversation, and I'm looking forward to this, with Joe Fagnani. Service Dogs of Cental PA is the name of the organization. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to have you with us here this morning. Because I want to learn. I want to learn about Service Dogs of Cental PA. What is this organization?
Service Paws of Cental PA.
Paws. Oh, I like that.
Service Paws of Cental PA.
I like that. I like that. Tell me
about
it.
Yeah, we work with service dogs, but we just when we did the name, we just decided Paws would be cuter.
I get it. So what is it? What does your organization do?
Okay, Service Paws of Cental PA was founded 10 years ago, in October, actually, of 2011. And our mission is to support service dogs and those they serve. The main function that we perform for the community is we help finance service dogs because they can be very expensive, sometimes in excess of $30,000, but normally in the range of 10 to 20. Mm-hmm. And guide dogs, help people with vision disabilities, are free. Some of the schools, they're free because the schools that provide guide dogs are well funded. They've been established for years. Most people probably have heard of Seeing Eye. They were the first dog guide school back in 1929, and they had millions and millions in funds and investments and so forth. So they don't charge. What they do ask, though, is a contribution of $300 or something like that. They want the user to have some kind of skin in the game so that they feel some kind of a sense of ownership.
Yeah.
And Guide Dog Foundation out in California, which is the largest school right now, they probably put out over 200 units a year. So they're one of the largest. I have a service dog. I have a guide dog. I've had dogs now for 58 years, and I've gotten the last 5 now from Freedom Dog, which is a small school in upstate New York that provides home. They come to you and they work with you in your community for a week or so. Actually, when I know the director there, and so when I get a new dog, he comes here maybe for 4 or 5 days, and we're done. Normally, and I advise this for your first dog guide, it's usually a residential setting where you go to the school for 3 to 4 weeks and you work there to get to learn how to use the dog, take care of a dog, and those things, plus the training. But anyway, as I said, that's our main purpose, is to help with the financing. And as far as I know, we're one of the few groups in the country, I haven't seen any others, that do this. There are, for veterans, there are a number of organizations now that help veterans for no cost to get service dogs, but still, it involves maybe some travel, so some of them prefer to do it locally. We have helped several veterans get service dogs. We work with 3 schools in Pennsylvania that we feel are accredited and that put out real service dogs. There are a lot of schools, there are a lot of places out there, they'll say they'll train your dog, but they're not. And there's so many things on the internet, you can get these certificates and all that nonsense, but most of them are fraudulent. I know people that have spent up to $10,000 on these things from the internet and have nothing to show for it. So, we have a lot of experience. As I said, I've worked with service dogs for 58 years. A number when we talk with clients, we have a lot of experience, and we can put them in the right direction and make sure that the dogs that they get from the schools that we recommend are good, and we work with those schools. That's our main function, and our main purpose is to help people get service dogs. We service 14 counties in South Central PA. The furthest west would be Westmoreland. Furthest east is Mifflin, and we have clients in both of those counties. Most of us are in Blair County, but we do have people in Center and Somerset and Johnstown. So that's.
Does your service area then include Indiana County?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So somebody who wants to use your organization, they're going to get the kind of information that they need in order to begin a relationship with a service dog. Define, if you would, how or what a service dog is, because we have the idea that a service dog, well, that's just a dog that serves as the eyes for someone who is blind. It's more than that.
Yes, it is. Yeah, there's a symbiotic relationship that you develop with the dog, because you're with this dog 24/7. You're not with your spouse that often, and you really develop that bond and relationship, and that's important in the whole process of the dog helping you. And a service dog is trained to perform certain tasks. Excuse me. And a task is defined as when you give a dog a command that it's going to perform that task over 90% of the time. That's a learned task. So, and there are two questions that ADA allows proprietors to ask of someone that enters their establishment with a dog, and that the first one is that dog required because of a disability? Well, obviously anybody can answer yes to that, and it doesn't mean anything. Mm-hmm. The second question is, what tasks has that dog learned to perform for you? Now, that's a different question, and usually that's what separates the fraudulent soft service dogs, which there are a lot out there, from the real ones. So the service dog performs defined tasks. And up to about 3 years ago, with a lot of veterans coming back with PTSD and becoming, they got dogs, and they were, for the most part, emotional support dogs. There wasn't any specific training for a dog for PTSD. It was basically an emotional support dog. But however, in the last couple of years, they've really narrowed this down and defined tasks. In fact, I just got something in the mail yesterday from an outfit out in California, and they've defined something like 90 tasks that the dog can perform for people with PTSD. So it's really getting to be a reality and not just an emotional support dog.
I would guess that being the case, that you have more resources available to you in terms of information that can help you to even define your services further.
Yes. Yeah. And we're very oriented on, as I said, the task. We want to make sure that the dog is performing whatever task that individual needs. And that's one of the first questions we ask when someone calls us and say, well, I want to train my service, I want to train my dog, or I want a service dog. Well, the first question we ask is, what the task do you want that dog to perform for you? Mm-hmm. And that kind of narrows it down into, say, what they want. A lot of times it's, well, I need a dog to calm me down or whatever. But a dog in general will calm a person down. Dogs are, they have that relationship with people. They've had it for thousands of years, where dogs bond with people, and the people get that feeling. And there's a term that used to be therapy dogs. It's now kind of gone into facility dogs, dogs that will go into schools or go into senior residences to help just bond with people and to give them something to love, kind of thing, and touch and feel that warmth. And that's what we call a facility dog, and they have an important and a very valuable place in our community. But it's the fraudulent service dogs, these fake ones that people want, and the yap and that kind of thing. And one of the rules that we have is, it's 4 on the floor. If the service dog doesn't have 4 feet on the floor, it's probably not a service dog. Oh, yeah. Now, there are some instances with stress, with PTSD, and some other not emotional, but other parts of PTSD, where the dog will come up on the person just to kind of touch them and to calm them down. And with hearing dogs, sometimes to alert their master to maybe an alarm going off, a bell or a fire alarm or whatever, they might jump up on the person to get their attention. Mm-hmm. But normally it's 4 on the floor. Well,
we only have a moment or so left with Joe this morning. So for folks who want to learn more about Service Paws of Central PA, I'm sure there are resources available. Website, Facebook, are both those in the mix?
Yes. Our website is servicepawsofcentralpa.org. Our email address is servicepawsofcentralpa@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. And they can always call me, Joe Fagnani, at 814-940-0270.
Beautiful. Joe, it's been good to talk with you here this morning. We'll catch up again, okay?
Thank you very much, Todd. Appreciate it.
Good to have you with us. It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 and AM